CM Punk, der wahrscheinlich längste Praline der... Oh, scheiße, das ist was anderes. Nochmal. CM Punk, wahrscheinlich der beste Wrestler der Welt, obwohl er ist der beste Wrestler der Welt, meldete sich zurück. Nach seinem Abgang im Januar 2014 nach dem Royal Rumble hat CM Punk wohl eher nichts gesagt zu dem Thema, doch jetzt meldet er sich zurück und redet tatsächlich fast eine Stunde über seinen Abschied von der WWE. Bei seinem Wrestling-Kollegen Colt fucking Cabana, die WWE müsste mal auch langsam den mal einstellen, aber das ist jetzt eine andere Sache, meldet er sich und hat bei seinem Podcast von Colt Cabana natürlich alles erzählt. Vom Anfang bis zum Ende quasi. Und ich habe hier ein paar Ausschnitte für euch parat. Wenn ihr das ganze Podcast ansehen wollt, dann schaut einfach mal in die Videobeschreibung. Ich werde hier weder Untertitel oder sonst irgendwas machen, deswegen gönnt euch die kleinen Ausschnitte. Im Hintergrund wird entweder ein WWE 2K15 Gameplay laufen oder Pornos. Eins von beiden. Also, es wird wohl eher Pornos sein. Also, viel Spaß dabei und wer das ganze Podcast anhören will, schaut einfach unten in die Beschreibung, da seht ihr einen Link und natürlich auch zum iTunes-Link von seinem Podcast, den ihr natürlich kostenlos abonnieren könnt und seinen restlichen Podcast angucken könnt. 226 Folgen hat er übrigens schon rausgehauen und das ist schon mal gut, ne? Also wie viel Spaß dabei?
How long is this going to be? How long do I have?
So here's going into this whole thing right now. This is kind of what I.
This is a special episode.
Well, yeah, it is, and like right away, I wanted to kind of like if you do your business,
Yeah.
in 20 minutes, and then it's 20 minutes.
It's not a 20-minute story.
If it's an hour and a half, there is no, and that's the beauty of. We have created our own landscape, and you don't have 8 segments tonight.
Well, this
Punk.
is why I'm using you as a platform to, I guess, speak.
You said fuck it, and I stopped you. I hope I didn't stop your train of thought there.
No, I don't honestly know exactly where to begin, because I could go back and probably start at when I re-signed. You know, when I was out the door and I had my mind made up and I wasn't going to re-sign, and then I had this meeting with Vince, and I wouldn't say he convinced me to re-sign. I would say I talked myself into giving it the old college try, and I think a lot of people believe like all these powerful words I say about change and changing the place and all that, and people constantly tweet to me all the time. You can't change it from your couch in Chicago,
right.
And I absolutely disagree, because that's exactly what I did. I find these other things that have made me happy, and I thought this thing that I loved, that I thought I loved, it just made me so miserable all the time. It made me miserable, and I guess with like the black and the white of it, when you just boil it all down, the essence of it was, I was miserable, I was unhappy. Fuck it, I made myself happy. I left. Like, that's what it boils down to. I'm in Boston. I'm talking to Vince about re-signing. He says, oh, we really need you. I'll give you this. I'll give you that. I say, I want this. He says, fine, you can have that. I'd already been approached because, you got to understand, after I did that promo in Vegas, everyone calls it the pipe bomb, and I despise that word now, because everyone just refers to promos as pipe bombs now.
Right.
It's very weird. And maybe hell, I should just embrace that and own that too. But I don't know. It feels like douchey. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna drop a pipe bomb. I don't know.
I get it.
I'm talking to Vince, and I tell him that since that promo, we've gotten more mainstream attention. You know what I mean? Like all this stuff. Everyone wanted to interview me, whether it was like GQ magazine, on the cover of USA Today, and like all this weird shit.
Jim Rome.
Yeah, exactly. Precisely. You're going to remember more than I do, because my life's a blur. I had legitimate companies approaching me about wanting to just give me money to sponsor me, because obviously UFC is all the rage, and guys wear fight shorts and they have shit all over their shorts, and they get paid a ridiculous amount of money to promote these companies. So I had a pretty big money deal on the table, and I went to Vince and I was like, yeah, so okay, There's going to be a new CM Punk, and when I do things new, I like to kind of, new hairstyle, new look.
No, really?
Yeah, right. New whatever. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Maybe I'll switch to fight shorts because then I can have sponsors, and these guys are already in place. And I told them my idea, said I wanted to do this sponsorship thing, and I felt like I deserved it. I got all these new eyes on the product, and people were fucking going banana about it. And he says, nope, you can't do that. Sponsors for Raw would get mad. The other wrestlers would get mad. This is that. We had a conversation. It wasn't my hill to die on, so I let it go. A year later, Brock Lesnar comes back, and the motherfucker has sponsors.
Jerky links.
And that's, and that's good because Brock got that. My friend Chael's fighting in Chicago for UFC, and I already talked to all of them, and they're totally cool with the idea. I'm going to walk him to the Octagon, and tomorrow's the Royal Rumble, so it'll get some last-minute buys, and whether Chael wins or loses, no offense to Chael, nobody's going to be talking about him. They're going to be talking about the WWE champion walking him to the Octagon. Oh, my God, Phil, no, we can't do that. That's barbaric. Somebody's going to die. And then I had to remind him, well, I don't know if you remember Owen Hart or not. Because he sort of died in your ring.
Someone's going to die?
That's what he said. He said somebody was going to die in the Octagon.
Eventually, and you might be the one that's ringside for it?
No, I just think he was distancing himself from such a horrible, barbaric product. And I reminded him how horrible and barbaric pro wrestling is, and he was just like, no. And then he was also appalled. Did you know that they're going to have women fight in the Octagon soon? And I was like, yeah, and it's the fucking coolest thing in the world, and it's going to be the hottest fucking thing. You'll see. And, it's another thing. He's just not in touch.
Right.
I've been offered things, and then I go to the office like a good little soldier, and then they tell me I can't do it, and then 2 weeks later, John Cena's doing it. The same thing, the same exact thing. I'll give you an example. I mean, this is internal, but this will kind of set the tone. I was the champ, and this is maybe 2 years ago. It was around this time. They wanted, oh, hey, Triple H comes up to me. Hey, the studio wants you in a movie. And I was like, oh, cool. They're lame as fuck, but you know what I mean? It might get me some sort of a credit, and I can, it's something to work with. It's a new experience in case I want to pursue acting after my wrestling career. And I would get house shows off. And that's right around the time I was like, fuck yeah, house shows off. Because I tore my knee up working Cena in September at Night of Champions. Put him in a Muda lock, and he tried to roll to get out of it and just twisted my knee, twisted his ankle. So it's all set. Yeah, it's 12 rounds 2, I think. And I remember talking to you about it, and you're like, no, don't do it. It's just a John Cena movie. And I was just like, man, I'm looking at house shows off. That was my big thing. And that was the thing when I was the champion. I was very much in I got to lead this locker room, and I got to do this, and I got to lead them by example. So I did every appearance, I did everything Cena did to put it in perspective, because people know how much John does. I did everything he did. They just don't advertise it. I mean, it sounds shitty to complain. I did as many Make-A-Wishes as he did, and they just don't advertise anybody else doing a Make-A-Wish. Occasionally, here and there, you'll be like, oh, Randy Orton did a Make-A-Wish. Mm-hmm. Everybody does them. They just seen as the poster boy. And that place should be fucking happiest place to work. And they use that as this bizarre mind fuck, Oh, just go out there and have fun. It's like, fuck you, this place sucks. And on top of that, you're not fucking paying me nearly enough to do this fucking shit. You're not. And I don't care anybody out there's like, oh, you made millions. Yeah, I should have made fucking 10.
So as you leave,
yes,
you said mainly for your health.
I mean, that was a big part of it. But it was also, I knew this network was coming out. And for months, I was asking everybody, hey, so WrestleMania is probably $70 in HD, and now you're selling it for $10.99 or $9.99.
Don't pretend you don't know.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I mean, and yeah, at the time you had to buy the 6-month thing, but I felt like I was the only one asking questions. I had guys like Randy asking me, like, hey, what happens? And I was like, I don't know. I ask, and they just, Vince, he just laughs. Well, we haven't figured that out yet. And I was going, shouldn't you think you should figure that out before I work on that pay-per-view so you can pay me accordingly? And
again, nobody's asking questions because nobody wants to rock any kind of boat because it's the only game in town.
No, because you'll get punished. You'll get left off a pay-per-view. They'll take you off of Raw. They'll take you off of house shows, and now you're not making any money.